Is the NBA happy with what happened last night, with it being so completely off the wall, and it's maybe firing a shot across the bow of any tank intended teams, or the teams that need the biggest help don't really get it? Frank, where do they stand on this subject right now?
Well, I don't think they'd ever admit it, but I think if Zion Williamson ended up in New York or L.A., there could be some smiling in the league office. But I think for them, what they wanted to do with the revised format to try to prevent teams from tanking, even though I still think teams will do it, it was pretty unpredictable. I mean, you had a team that had a 6% chance jumping all the way to the top spot. I mean, the Lakers went from having the 11th spot to being 4th. The Knicks went from being 1 to being 3. And then you look at what happened to the Suns and obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers. I felt a little bit bad for the Atlanta Hawks because the Atlanta Hawks tried to do everything the right way this year. Now, they didn't have the most talented roster, but they came out and played hard. Guys like Trae Young, John Collins, Lloyd Pierce, the head coach, did a very good job. Too bad that they fell all the way to 8th because they were like the one team that wasn't very good, that was trying to win for most of the season and actually did things the right way, but it didn't pay off for them last night.
Well, I mean, in previous years, a team with a 6% chance was ranked 6th in the draft order. This time around, a team with a 6% chance ranked 7th through 9th. And the 6% chance in the previous lottery days were 19% off from winning the entire shooting match in the lottery. Last night, 6% was just 9% off. So
yeah,
it's leveled the playing field, but is that the right way to do a draft, Frank?
I think the way the league, especially after what happened in Philadelphia, where they were, clearly tanking for all those years, I don't think the league wants that. I think a lot of fans that go to these games late in the season and the big name players aren't playing, I think that turns off a lot of people. I don't ever think there's going to be a perfect way to do it, but if you're a fan of the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Phoenix Suns, you're obviously bummed out because you lost a ton of games, especially in the case of the New York Knicks. You went 17-65. In another year, you would have had a 25% chance of getting the number 1 pick. And you think to yourself, you know what, this is the year to have the number 1 pick because it's going to be Zion Williamson. I get all of that, but you can't say that it wasn't pretty exciting last night, especially, how many times have we seen when they do the draft, and they're going to take the commercial break before they go to the top. It used to be the top 3.
Right.
Now it's the top 4. And you had, the Knicks were still alive. The Lakers were in it, who defied the odds. Same thing with New Orleans and Memphis. So during that commercial break, I started thinking, because I'm bad at math, that's why I had to get into this business. I'm thinking to myself, well, hang on, the Knicks must have won because going into it, they had higher odds than the 3 remaining teams. But I was wrong about that. In fact, Rich, how about this? They draw first, and it was New Orleans. Memphis won the 2nd pick, and then when they do the drawing for the 3rd pick, Memphis won again. So obviously they have to redraw, and then that turned out to be the Knicks, and then the Lakers were 4th. So the Memphis came up 2 times. They won the 2nd pick and the 3rd pick, but you don't get both picks.
Well, in terms of also, in that commercial break, I just flipped on Twitter, was tweeting out some stuff myself, and I saw you, Frank, from a few minutes before saying that you had somebody that was able to communicate from out of the hermetically sealed. What was the phrase that
transmit?
No, you used transmit, but Howard Beck, who was on in the first hour, called, what do you call it? The room, the sequestered room, the sequestered space.
Yeah.
Has anyone from the NBA called you to see who ordered the code red, Frank, and got that information out to you?
It's funny you say that. I did get a call from somebody from the league office who was laughing as I picked up the phone. They said, "You son of a gun, I know exactly what you were doing." I was in that room the year that Minnesota won the number 1 pick and got Karl Anthony Towns. That's when the Knicks fell, but they ended up getting Porzingis. And when you go in there, you're obviously handing over your phone and you put it in an envelope, and there's basically guys with baseball bats and guns ready to kill you if you try to get your phone. And so when I said transmit, I thought people would understand kind of the joke. I was surprised at how many people thought I was being serious. It was, a lot of times sarcasm doesn't always project via Twitter, but I thought if I used the word transmit, what I should have said? I should have said smoke signals, but I still think people would believe me if I had written that somebody sent out a smoke signal and I know who the number 1 pick is.
But you were accurate on it being a wild finish that people would be talking about. Pelicans won, Memphis too. Are you saying nobody did tell you this sort of information?
Nah, nobody knew. But I will say this. I've been saying for a long time there was a cruel part of me that was hoping that the Lakers would get it. Not that they deserved the pick, but I always felt there'd be so much screaming going on if the Lakers got the number one pick and we'd end up with LeBron. And then during that break, after I had tweeted out the part about someone had transmitted me the results, I had tweeted that the Lakers should have had LeVar Ball sit on the dais and represent the team. And then, of course, the Lakers, we knew that they were in the top four, so a lot of people were convinced that it was the Lakers who had won. I had no idea. I'll be honest with you. If you told me during the commercial break, I would have thought that the Knicks were going to win. Again, because I'm very bad at math. That's why I'm in this business.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.